Okay, let's take a look at number 5. Okay, this one we are using regex expressions. So on the left side here, we have our regular expressions, and we want to fill in the boxes of the strings that it actually matches. So let's take a look at the first one, olg. So this one, remember that if there are no special characters in this one, we want to match the entire exact string. So right now this is ulg, so the only one that matches exactly will be the first box. So we'll fill that one in. And for all the rest of them, since they don't match exactly, this one has an extra character, the other ones just don't match exactly, these will not match for our regular expression. Now for the second one, we have actual special symbols. So this is an OR symbol, which means that everything inside these parentheses, it will take either the left side or the right side. So it's kind of like an OR logical expression for Booleans. So this one, we can either have the left side olgo, and then attached with everything to the right of the parentheses. So we'll first take, if we have the left side, which is olgometh, which matches to this one, olgometh. And then we look at the case in which case we have the right side, which is grigometh, which would only match this one. So everything else either, so for olgo, for just olg, this one doesn't match the full olgo on the left side. And it also doesn't have the meth, so this one does not match. For olgo, it doesn't contain the meth, which is to the right side. And since we want to have the whole expression match, not just the stuff in the parentheses, this expression, olgo, does not match. For grigo, grigo matches the left side, but again, it doesn't match the right side, which is meth. And then for just meth, it doesn't contain the left side, which is the stuff in parentheses. And then for ometh, it simply just doesn't match. Now for this side, this one doesn't have parentheses around the grigo and olgo, which means that we use this OR operator on everything to the left, which is this side, and everything to the right, which means we can only have either just olgo or just grigometh, which is this one, olgo, as well as grigometh, which is this one. And this is just because of the OR operator. Everything else will not match because it doesn't exactly match either of these two. Now, for the next one, it's really similar to this previous one, except these two are really similar, except that olgo and grigo are in extra parentheses. But since there's no other special characters, these parentheses actually don't do anything. So these two statements are actually exactly the same, in which case we can just fill in the same checkboxes. This is just because grouping with parentheses doesn't add any extra formatting for the regular expression. It just helps us group operations. And in this case, there's no extra operations to consider. Now for this one, we have this star expression over here. So this star means that everything, the thing immediately to the left, in which case is this grouped characters of this parentheses right here, this whole segment. That means this segment can either appear anywhere from 0 to infinity times. So we want to look at the case where this appears 0 times, or this appears once, twice, 3 times, and so on. So first let's see if it appears 0 times. If this appears 0 times, that means we're left with just meth, in which case it will match with meth right here. And now let's see what happens if it appears once. Now if this whole group appears once, we have the same condition as this previous statement up here, right? Where we have this OR expression within parentheses along with a meth on the right side, which means we can fill in the same ones in the case that this star expression means that this appears once. Now what happens if this appears twice? Now if this appears twice, we'll get either like an olgo, and we see that there's just nothing else that will fit that criteria. There's no, none of these words actually allow it to appear twice, so we can probably just ignore those cases. Now let's look at the next one. We see the star operator one more time, and then this time we have 2 OR operators, which means this whole group means we can have either a U, L, or G. So this means that we need to consider everything that has an ometh on the right side, for sure, and then everything to the left is either a U, L, or G. So let's take a look at the first one. ULG doesn't have an OMeth, so this one can't be it. This one, oligometh, does have a OMeth, and then everything to the left does contain a U, L, or G, in which case this matches. For Grigometh, this one does have an OMeth, but right to the left, it has a G, which matches, and it also has an I, and I is not within this OR statement, which means this one does not match. So Olgo doesn't have an OMeth, so this one does not match. Same thing with this one, same thing with this one. And then over here, OMeth, it contains OMeth and nothing to the left, but since we have a star operator, this means we also allow for cases where where this appears 0 times. If this appears 0 times, that means it matches. Cool. And finally, for this one, this whole expression has no special symbols, but it's grouped together with this star symbol, which means that everything to this whole olg can either appear 0 to infinity times. So in the case that it doesn't appear, we just have OMeth, and that will match over here. And in the case that it appears once, we'll have olgometh, which matches over here. And then if it appears twice, we'll get olgometh. But since that's not a valid word, and it's not a subword of any of these strings, then there's nothing else that will match. And in that case, we have all of this filled up.